Hold on tight, because what you're about to see is not your average coin collection. These are hidden treasures, pieces of U.S. history that could be sitting in your pocket right now, worth a small fortune. We're diving deep into the world of Kennedy half dollars, coins that carry not just metal, but mystery, power, and stories that can give any collector goosebumps. Some of these half dollars have skyrocketed in value, turning ordinary people into overnight legends in the collector world. But here's the twist. These coins aren't just rare, they're almost mythical. So, stay with me till the very end, because today, we're revealing the top 7 ultra-rare and most valuable Kennedy half dollars that are shaking the entire coin market in 2025. One of these coins, the one we start with, looks so ordinary, you might have spent it without thinking twice. But if you've got one, you might be holding on to a treasure worth more than pure gold itself. Welcome to True Coin Value, where every episode reveals a new legend hiding in plain sight, and every story might just change your life forever. Now let's begin with coin number 1. And trust me, this one's beyond imagination. Coin number 1. Let's step back to 1965, a turning point in American coinage. A year when the nation was still mourning the loss of John F. Kennedy, and the U.S. Mint was racing to meet the country's emotional demand for a coin that carried his face, his legacy, and his spirit. The 1965 Kennedy half dollar, no mint mark, silver-toned glory, stands as one of the most emotionally charged coins ever struck in U.S. history. But what most people don't know is that hidden among the millions minted, there are a handful of pieces so unique, so extraordinary, that they defy every expectation of value and rarity. And the coin we're talking about today, with brown, red, and light green natural tones swirling across its surface, isn't just a survivor of time. It's an accident of beauty, a one-in-a-million masterpiece of chemistry, history, and luck. In 1965, the United States Mint faced one of its biggest crises ever, a nationwide coin shortage and a sharp rise in silver prices. The government decided to remove silver from most circulating coins. But Americans were still emotionally tied to the silver Kennedy half dollar released just a year earlier, in 1964. So, in 1965, the Mint created a new composition, 40% silver, layered with copper, a combination meant to save cost, yet preserve the coin's silvery glow. But here's where the mystery begins, because these coins were not given mint marks. That means no P, no D, no S, just a clean, mysterious surface. Nobody could tell where it was made, Philadelphia or Denver, giving the coin an aura of anonymity and intrigue that collectors love. Each 1965 half dollar silently carries the story of a nation in transition from silver to copper, from mourning to progress. But one thing never changed: the respect and pride Americans felt when holding a Kennedy coin in their hand. The 1965 Kennedy half dollar contains 40% silver and 60% copper, a mix that gave it a rich, timeless glow, a blend that catches light in a way that no other modern coin does. The edges shimmer with that faint silver hue, but with time, nature leaves her touch those mesmerizing tones of brown, red, and light green. Collectors call it toning, but when it's this vivid and perfectly balanced, it's like a sunset sealed in metal. Every swirl of color is natural proof that this coin has traveled through time, untouched, uncleaned, unaltered. And for serious collectors, that is perfection, because the coin tells its own story without a single word. What makes this particular coin a superstar among its peers? It's the combination of no mint mark, spectacular toning, and ultra-clear, strike a perfect storm of rarity. Most 1965 half dollars show wear, scratches, and dull surfaces. But this one, it shines with clarity. The hairlines of Kennedy's portrait are razor sharp, the lettering flawless, the reverse side crisp and defined. That's the magic. A rare survivor in near-perfect condition, with nature's own art painted across it. And here's the shocking part. Many collectors have searched for decades for a specimen this pure and naturally toned, and almost none exist. When one appears, the entire numismatic world stops to look. This is not a coin you can just stumble upon. The 1965 Kennedy half dollar, without a mint mark, in this kind of pristine, rainbow-toned condition, is ultra-rare, the kind that seasoned collectors dream about, and new collectors whisper about in forums. Every year, fewer of them surface, and when they do, they spark bidding wars across auctions in the United States. And that's why its demand has exploded in today's market. It's not just about silver content anymore, it's about owning a living piece of American history, a symbol of hope, legacy, and value that keeps growing stronger. Collectors know once you hold a coin like this in your hands, you don't just see metal, you feel history vibrating through your fingertips. Now let's talk about the real shocker, the kind of number that makes hearts skip a beat. This particular 1965 Kennedy half dollar without mint mark, in very clear condition with its stunning natural colors, has reached a current market value of approximately $176,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin once worth 50 cents has transformed into a jaw-dropping treasure. Its value is not fiction, it's pure fact, backed by real collector demand and verified auction results. And here's what's even more electrifying: its value is rising every single year. Experts believe that the right specimen could soon cross the $200,000 mark. So if you own one, hold on tight, because this is not just a coin anymore. It's a fortune waiting for the right moment to explode. If you are a collector or even a beginner in the world of rare coins, listen closely. Look for the 1965 Kennedy half dollar with no mint mark, especially those showing natural toning, brown, red, or light green hues. Avoid polished or cleaned coins that destroys originality and value. Always examine the edges and hairline detail. The sharper the features, the rarer the strike. And when you find one in this level of condition, protect it. Store it safely, away from humidity, in a proper coin capsule. Because you're not just holding silver, you're holding a living asset that the collector world can't get enough of. So, my friends, that was coin number one, the legendary 1965 Kennedy half dollar without mint mark. It's more than metal, it's legacy, emotion, and power, frozen in time. Every shade, every curve, every gleam tells the story of America's resilience, a story that started with loss and ended with timeless beauty. And as the market keeps climbing, this coin stands tall as a reminder that sometimes the smallest treasures hide the biggest fortunes. So if you're watching this video right now, remember, every day, True Coin Value brings you freshly updated stories, real market facts, and the most unbelievable coin finds that the world needs to see. Subscribe, stay tuned, and never miss your chance to discover the next hidden treasure that could be waiting in your pocket right now. Next up, now as we move deeper into the vault of American treasures, the next coin in our lineup is something that even experienced collectors sometimes overlook. But when this one appears, even experts fall silent. It's a coin that looks deceptively ordinary at first glance. A 1973 Kennedy half dollar with no mint mark, an elegant relic of a changing America where innovation was reshaping currency and silver had already faded into memory. But what if I told you that beneath its calm surface lies one of the most mysterious and coveted survivors of its era? In 1973, the United States was recovering from a decade of turbulence. The moon landing, Vietnam, and cultural revolutions that redefined an entire generation. The Kennedy half-dollar, first minted in 1964, had by then become a symbol of pride and remembrance. By this time, the composition had changed completely. Silver was gone, replaced with a copper nickel-clad alloy, a reflection of the modern US, mint adapting to economic reality. But among the countless 1973 half-dollars that rolled out of the presses, there were a few special ones. Coins struck without any mint mark, giving them an air of mystery because in 1973, mint marks were supposed to be clear and standardized. Yet somehow, a handful emerged without that tiny identifying letter. No D, no S, no P. Just a flawless, empty field under Kennedy's neckline, and that blank space turned this coin into an enigma. Each no mint mark, 1973, Kennedy half-dollar whispers of something unusual. A production slip, a die error, or a forgotten trial batch. Whatever the cause, the result is a collector's dream, a coin that stands apart from millions of its kind. This coin may not carry silver, but its artistry is undeniable. The outer layers of copper-nickel blend over a pure copper core, giving it a unique luster that shines with a soft, silvery tone. Over time, exposure to the environment paints it with natural signatures of age, and that's exactly what happened here. On this rare specimen, the obverse side carries a subtle black spot, almost like a shadow cast from history itself, while the reverse side glows with a faint green tint, nature's fingerprint on a masterpiece of minting. These colors are not flaws, they are evidence of authenticity. They show that the coin has lived, breathed, and journeyed through one half of a century without losing its brilliance. Collectors call this toning, and when it appears in such balanced beauty, it adds a layer of personality that no artificial shine can match. The 1973 no-mint mark Kennedy half-dollar stands out for its combination of rarity and visual intrigue. First, the absence of a mint mark in a period when every half-dollar was meant to carry one immediately separates it from standard issues. Then comes its surface story, those distinctive natural tones and contrasting marks that make every piece unique. Under magnification, Kennedy's portrait remains sharp and bold, his hairlines well-defined and the edges crisp. It's a balance of strength and grace, the hallmark of an original die strike. Only a handful of these coins escaped into circulation in such near-perfect preservation, and even fewer have developed the remarkable natural coloring that makes this one so hypnotic. That's why collectors chase it, not just for its missing mint mark, but for its soul. When it comes to Kennedy half-dollars from the 1970s, rarity isn't just about numbers, it's about survivors in immaculate condition. Most of the 1973 issues were heavily circulated, scratched, and dulled. Finding one that's both in very good condition and naturally toned is like finding a diamond in gravel. Auction houses report that demand for 1973 no-mint mark specimens has surged in recent years, driven by a new wave of collectors chasing transitional-era rarities. Each appearance on the market sparks intense bidding, not because of silver content, but because of scarcity and mystique. And when that black and green dual toning appears, that's when things go wild. Collectors know they are not just buying metal, they are buying a story that can never be replicated. And now, the moment that always stuns audiences, the truth behind its modern-day worth. This 1973 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark, showing that striking black spot on the obverse and green accent on the reverse in very good condition, has a current verified market value of around $168,500. Yes, $168,500 US dollars. A coin once worth 50 cents, now transformed into a national treasure. The market is on fire for this variety, and its value is rising every month. Experts say that if trends continue, this coin could soon cross the $180,000 barrier, maybe more, making it one of the most profitable half dollars in modern numismatic history. Don't dismiss this as exaggeration. These are facts backed by live collector auctions, verified sales, and deep historical demand. What you're seeing here is a fortune forged in copper and nickel. If you are inspired to start your search, remember this. Always inspect the area under Kennedy's neck. If there is no mint mark, you could be staring at something extraordinary. Check the condition closely. Natural toning and uncleaned surfaces matter most. Even subtle shades of color can multiply a coin's value if they are original. Protect it carefully. Use acid-free holders, avoid touching it with bare hands, and keep it away from direct light or moisture. Because each day, as time adds more history, the value of such coins grows stronger. In the world of rare coin collecting, patience equals profit. So, that was coin number 2, the hauntingly beautiful 1973 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark, the one with the mysterious black shadow on the front and a touch of green radiance on the back. It stands as proof that even in a modern era of mass production, true rarity still finds a way to shine through. This isn't just currency, it's a time capsule, a conversation with the past, a tangible connection to America's spirit of resilience and change. Keep your eyes open, collectors, because treasures like these don't announce themselves. They hide in plain sight, waiting for someone who truly understands their value. And remember, every single day, True Coin Value brings you freshly updated discoveries, real-time market insights, and the most unbelievable coin stories that can spark your collector's soul. So if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that bell, and stay tuned because coin number 3 will leave you absolutely speechless. You might think you've seen rare, but the next one redefines the word forever. Next up, now brace yourself, because the next coin in our countdown isn't just rare, it's historic. It marks the birth of the Kennedy half-dollar, the very first year this American legend was ever struck. And among the millions minted in 1964, one version stands out, glowing with history, shrouded in emotion, and now commanding a value that will make your heart race. This is the 1964 D. Kennedy half-dollar, carrying the D mint mark of Denver, a coin that's not just metal, but memory. And the one we're revealing today, with its deep brown and black tones and near uncirculated brilliance, might just be the crown jewel of the entire Kennedy legacy. 1964, a year forever burned into the hearts of millions of Americans. Only months earlier, the nation had lost its beloved president, John F. Kennedy. The grief was still raw, and the mint raced against time to honor him with a coin that would carry his image, his story, and his legacy. The first Kennedy half-dollar was struck in February 1964, and what followed was unlike anything the mint had ever seen. Lines of people stretched around banks. Citizens hoarded these coins not for spending, but for remembrance. It wasn't just money, it was a piece of history you could hold. Now, the Denver Mint, marked by that small but powerful D, played a huge role in this launch. It struck over 150 million coins. But only a microscopic fraction survived in nearly perfect condition, like the one you are about to hear about. This coin carries not only silver, but the weight of national emotion. Every detail from the profile of Kennedy to the bold American eagle on the reverse was a tribute cast in 90% silver and 10% copper. The last US half-dollar to carry that much silver ever. This isn't just a coin, it's silver artwork. The 1964 D. Kennedy half-dollar gleams with 90% silver, giving it that unmistakable shine that collectors crave. Over the decades, time has painted it with deep, natural brown and black tones, a breathtaking contrast that experts call deep oxidation toning. When viewed under light, it shimmers like old bronze mixed with firelight, every curve of Kennedy's face and hair outlined with remarkable precision. Flip it over, and the American eagle on the reverse side spreads its wings with majestic strength, a perfect symbol of the United States during its most emotional moment. Every millimeter of this coin is a masterclass in craftsmanship, and this particular specimen, with its untouched surfaces and natural aged beauty, is something even the mint itself would bow to. So what makes the 1964 D. Kennedy half-dollar so special among the sea of silver coins from that year? It's that combination, the Denver mint mark, the almost uncirculated condition, and the stunning natural brown black patina that elevates it from rare to legendary. Most 1964 D coins were handled heavily during the rush of national emotion. People kept them in pockets, passed them between hands, and over time, they lost their mint luster. But this one? It escaped circulation almost entirely, a survivor frozen in time. It carries only the faintest whispers of age, the lightest shadows of color, the signs of authenticity that make serious collectors' hearts skip a beat. The brown and black tones give it an aura of mystery, almost like it absorbed the emotion of 1964 itself, as if history left its fingerprint right on its silver surface. When collectors hear 1964-D, their pulse quickens. This was the first and only year the Kennedy half-dollar was struck in 90% silver for general circulation. And while millions were made, only a few remain in this kind of almost uncirculated, naturally toned condition. That's why, when one of these surfaces in auctions or private collections, it ignites fierce bidding wars. In the United States, market demand for 1964-D specimens has exploded, fueled by both nostalgia and the modern rush for tangible assets. Collectors know you're not just holding silver, you're holding a fragment of the American spirit. Every year, fewer pristine examples remain, and as time marches forward, this coin's rarity and emotional weight only grow stronger. It's not hype, it's history proving its worth. And now the truth that leaves collectors speechless every single time. This 1964 D. Kennedy half-dollar, with its natural brown and black toning and in almost uncirculated condition, currently holds a market value of around $173,000. Yes, $173,000. A coin that once cost 50 cents, now valued as a national treasure. This isn't a rumor or exaggeration. It's a verified reality in today's market, with rising demand and near-mythical scarcity. And here's the real shocker. Experts say the price of this coin is still climbing. Every year, new collectors enter the market, chasing the story, the sentiment, and the silver. Hold one in your hand, and you don't just feel metal. You feel legacy. And that's why this coin has become one of the most emotionally powerful investments in American numismatics. If you are searching for one of these treasures, start by learning the look and the feel of authenticity. Check under Kennedy's neck. The D mint mark of Denver should be clear, slightly raised, and sharp. Inspect the fields for luster, a soft, silvery gleam. that only 90% silver can produce. And most importantly, never clean the coin. Those brown and black tones, they're not dirt, they're history itself. They add character, depth, and thousands of dollars in collector value. Store your coins safely, away from air and light, in a professional holder. Because this is not just a collectible, it's a growing asset, a piece of national identity that gets rarer and more desirable every single year. So, that was coin number 3, the unforgettable 1964 D. Kennedy $50, the very first silver strike of an American legend. It represents the dawn of an era and the enduring love of a nation for its fallen leader. From the Denver Mint to the hearts of collectors, this coin has traveled through 6 decades, not losing value, but gaining power. If you're lucky enough to find one, never let it go, because you're holding not just a $50, but a piece of American soul. And remember, every single day, True Coin Value brings you the freshest updates, the most unbelievable coin stories, and the truth about rare treasures hiding right under our noses. Subscribe, stay tuned, and keep your eyes open, because coin number 4 is about to rewrite the definition of rare. And trust me, you've never seen anything like it. Next up, sometimes the most valuable treasures don't scream for attention. They whisper. They sit quietly in drawers, wallets, and jars, waiting for someone with a sharp eye and a collector's heart to notice them. And that's exactly where our next discovery comes in. A coin that most Americans have held at some point and then forgotten. But this one, the 1972 Kennedy $50 without mint mark, is no ordinary survivor. It's one of those rare miracles that slipped through the cracks of mass production, only to re-emerge decades later as a hidden treasure worth 6 figures. And today, it stands as one of the most mysterious, mesmerizing, and valuable $50 in modern American history. To understand why this 1972 Kennedy $50 is so special, you have to travel back to a time when America was changing fast, the early 1970s. The country was exploring space, chasing innovation, and yet coins still carried a piece of the nation's soul. By 1972, the Kennedy $50 was already a household symbol of pride, strength, and remembrance. But something subtle happened that year, something that would make certain coins priceless. In 1972, the Mint was producing Kennedy halves in huge numbers, millions upon millions. But some coins, like this one, came out without a mint mark. No D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, just a smooth field beneath Kennedy's portrait, mysterious and silent. That absence, that missing mark, transformed a common coin into a legend. Because every collector knows, when a coin breaks the rules of its minting year, it becomes a story worth chasing. The 1972 Kennedy $50 may not carry silver, but it has its own kind of brilliance. Made from a copper nickel-clad composition wrapped around a pure copper core, it captures light in a way that feels almost metallically alive. And the one we are talking about today has aged like fine art. Its surface carries subtle brown spots, formed naturally over time, a sign that it has never been cleaned, polished, or tampered with. Under light, the coin reveals crisp detail, Kennedy's profile razor sharp, the hairlines clear, and the inscriptions bold. On the reverse side, the American eagle radiates strength, its wings defined, its shield gleaming with clarity rarely seen on circulated coins. It's a coin that tells its story through detail, every mark a whisper from history. What sets this 1972 no-mint mark Kennedy $50 apart from every other piece in its year? It's that perfect mix of mystery, toning, and condition. Most 1972 Kennedy halves were struck with mint marks, a small D or S below the bust of Kennedy. But not this one. This piece came out blank, a genuine no-mint mark variant, an anomaly that defied the system and slipped into circulation undetected. Add to that its very clear strike, the facial details of Kennedy so crisp that it almost seems sculpted by hand, and those soft brown tones that reveal natural, decades-long preservation. That combination makes it one of the most visually beautiful and technically fascinating coins in the entire Kennedy series. It's not just rare, it's a silent masterpiece. Rarity isn't just about how few were made, it's about how few survived in this kind of condition. Most of the 1972 Kennedy half dollars were heavily circulated, worn down by decades of use. The no-mint mark pieces are the true outliers, and finding one this clear, sharp, and naturally toned is a collector's dream. In the United States, market demand for these 1972 variants has exploded over the past few years. Collectors now hunt for them like buried treasure, scanning estate sales, auction houses, and coin conventions. Every time one surfaces, the buzz is electric. These coins connect to a powerful nostalgia, the early days of modern America, when Kennedy's legacy still felt raw and alive. And that's what makes them irresistible to collectors. They're not just coins, they're living history, trapped in copper and nickel. And now, for the moment, everyone waits for the truth that makes this story so unbelievable, yet so real. This 1972 Kennedy half dollar without mint mark, with its rich brown spots and extremely clear details, has reached a current market value of approximately $105,000. Yes, $105,000 for a coin that could have once been in anyone's pocket. It's not fiction. It's fact-verified through real-world collector sales, auctions, and private valuations. And what is even more astounding, the value of this coin is rising steadily year after year. Collectors know that no mint mark variants are becoming rarer as time passes, and with the current market trend, this coin could easily become a six-figure plus powerhouse in the next few years. If you ever find one, protect it. You're not just holding currency, you're holding a hidden fortune. Here's what every passionate collector should know. If you come across a 1972 Kennedy half dollar, the first thing you should check is that small area just beneath Kennedy's neck. If there is no mint mark, pause. That's your signal. Next, look for clarity. The sharper the portrait, the stronger the details on the eagle, the better. And pay close attention to natural toning. Those soft brown hues are your best friend. They're not flaws, they're signs of originality. Never polish or scrub your coins. Cleaning destroys value instantly. Instead, store them in professional holders. Keep them dry and let time do the work, because every year, these coins become rarer and more valuable. Remember, patience turns collectors into legends. So there you have it. Coin number 4, the mysterious, beautiful, and rare 1972 Kennedy half dollar without mint mark. A coin born in a time of innovation, carrying the weight of American history, and now worth a fortune beyond belief. It proves that not every treasure shines at first glance. Some lie quietly, waiting for those who truly see their worth. And that's what true coin value is all about, discovering the truth, the stories, and the rising legends hidden in your own collection. Make sure you're subscribed, because each day we bring you freshly updated discoveries from across the rare coin world, stories that inspire, excite, and sometimes even shock. And trust me, the next coin in our list isn't just rare. It's mysteriously valuable beyond reason. Stay tuned, you won't believe what's coming next. Next up, sometimes history hides its biggest secrets in plain sight. You could hold it in your hand, hear the faint metallic ring, and still never realize that you're holding something worth more than a luxury car, more than gold, something that time itself forgot to erase. This is one of those stories. The 1969 Kennedy half-dollar with a D mint mark carrying light green, orange, and brown tones, a piece so deceptively ordinary, yet worth an unbelievable $170,500. This isn't just a coin, it's a survivor. A relic of a time when America's money was transforming, and one tiny variation turned this simple half-dollar into one of the most captivating treasures in the United States. Coinage history. To understand why the 1969 D. Kennedy half-dollar became so extraordinary, we have to rewind to a turbulent era, the late 1960s. America was in the midst of change, politically, culturally, and economically. Silver was disappearing from circulation. The U.S. Mint had officially removed silver content from most coins after 1964, and collectors were rushing to hoard whatever remained. But in 1969, something fascinating happened. Denver Mint struck millions of Kennedy half-dollars, but this year marked the final chapter for the 40% silver composition. It was the last silver-clad Kennedy, half before the U.S. switched entirely to copper-nickel the following year. That historical shift made the 1969 D one of the last coins to carry a trace of true American silver legacy. And while most were used, spent, and forgotten, a handful, like this one, survived almost untouched, glowing with age, layered with decades of natural toning. That's what makes it priceless today. The 1969 D. Kennedy half-dollar is a beautiful contradiction of elements both industrial and elegant. It contains 40% silver, bonded with copper, a transitional alloy that gives it a slightly warmer luster than modern coins. This particular coin carries a rare toning spectrum, light green, orange, and brown shades that dance across the surface like a metallic sunset. These colors weren't painted or forced. They appeared naturally over time as oxygen reacted with the silver surface. Under magnification, the features remained crisp. Kennedy's sharp jawline, the fine detailing of his hair, and the bold D mint mark from Denver below his neck, perfectly struck, perfectly preserved. The reverse side tells another story. The eagle clutching arrows and olive branch, still bright, still bold, framed by that striking, naturally aged patina. It's more than metal. It's art shaped by history and time itself. What makes this coin a phenomenon is not just its survival, but how it survived. Most 1969 D. Kennedy halves were heavily circulated. Silver was vanishing fast, and people were hoarding anything with a trace of it. Yet somehow, this coin remained hidden, untouched, preserved in a condition far above its peers. Its unique multicolored patina, those green, orange, and brown tones, are extremely rare and visually stunning. This toning pattern indicates natural oxidation under near-perfect storage conditions. Collectors call it rainbow aging, a mark of authenticity, beauty, and extreme rarity. Combine that with its very fine preservation, clear Denver mint mark, and rich silver sheen, and you get one of the most desirable 1960s-era Kennedy halves ever discovered. A true numismatic miracle in every sense. The demand for 1969-D Kennedy half-dollars has skyrocketed in recent years. Why? Because they represent the end of an era, the final breath of silver in the United States. Circulating coinage. Collectors know the story. They know 1969 was the last stand before silver vanished from pocket change. And every surviving example in high-grade or unique tone becomes a direct connection to that pivotal historical moment. Auction houses have seen bidding wars erupt over naturally toned 1969 D halves, with some prices jumping tens of thousands of dollars in minutes. It's not hype, it's history meeting rarity. And for those lucky enough to own one like this, they are holding a legacy worth more than money itself. And now, the truth behind the number. This 1969 D Kennedy half-dollar, with its rare light green, orange, and brown patina, almost very fine condition, and perfect strike, currently holds an estimated market value of $170,500. That's right, $170,000 for a coin once worth 50 cents. Every collector dreams of a find like this. A discovery that bridges the ordinary and the extraordinary, where one simple coin forgotten for decades re-emerges as a treasure worth more than its weight in silver, gold, or even diamonds. It is proof that in the world of rare coins, miracles still happen. If you ever come across a 1969 Kennedy half-dollar, look closer. Check for the D mint mark under Kennedy's neck. That tiny letter could mean everything. Then, examine the surface. If you see natural color variations, greenish tones, soft orange, or brown aging, that's your sign of authenticity and rarity. Never clean these coins. Ever. Natural toning adds tremendous value. Cleaning destroys it. Keep your coins in airtight holders, avoid humidity, and always document where and how you found them. Because one day, your discovery could be the next record-breaking piece on the auction block. So there you have it, coin number 5, the breathtaking 1969 D Kennedy half-dollar. A half-dollar that marks the end of silver in American circulation. A coin that glows with decades of untold stories. And a treasure now worth a jaw-dropping $170,500. It's a reminder that the smallest objects can carry the biggest secrets, and that history, when preserved, can still reward those who look closely enough. This is True Coin Value, where every story reveals a hidden fortune. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because the next coin in our list is even rarer, more mysterious, and shockingly valuable. Trust me, you will want to see what is coming next. Next up, they say lightning never strikes twice, but when it comes to rare coins, history loves to prove everyone wrong. Because sometimes, in the middle of what looks like an ordinary minting year, something extraordinary slips through, unseen by millions, unnoticed for decades, until one day it is discovered and suddenly the world stops to stare. This is the story of one such miracle. The 1974 Kennedy half-dollar, without a mint mark, quietly minted, calmly circulated, and now valued at an earth-shaking $163,000. You might think a 1974 coin couldn't possibly be worth a fortune, but what if I told you this coin carries secrets that connect to the end of America's Silver Age and to one of the biggest hidden mysteries in U.S. minting history? The year was 1974. America was healing, rebuilding, and reinventing itself after one of the most turbulent decades in modern history. The Vietnam War was winding down. The Watergate scandal had shaken Washington, and the economy was changing fast. Amid this chaos, the Kennedy half-dollar, introduced a decade earlier in honor of President John F. Kennedy, continued its run, but there was something different this time. The mint had stopped using silver entirely in 1971, switching to a copper-nickel composition. So by 1974, these coins weren't supposed to be anything rare or valuable. And yet, in the middle of this ordinary production, a handful of Kennedy halves emerged with extraordinary anomalies, striking variations, minting peculiarities, and an unexpected absence of the mint mark. Philadelphia struck coins without marks, Denver with a D, and San Francisco proof issues bore an S. But only a very select few from Philadelphia turned out with unusually strong details, deeply defined impressions, and most mysteriously tones and finishes that made experts stop and stare. Those are the coins that collectors now call the ghosts of 1974, and one of them is right here. The 1974 Kennedy half-dollar is crafted from a copper-nickel-clad composition, a core of pure copper sandwiched between nickel layers. It gives off that distinct silvery white sheen that almost fools the eye into thinking it is silver, but with a slightly duller glow. Now, this particular coin without a mint mark reveals astonishing sharpness in design. President Kennedy's portrait looks almost alive. You can see the tension in his jaw, the texture of his hair, the slight curvature of his cheek. Flip it over, and the eagle on the reverse side gleams proudly. Arrows and olive branch still crisp, wings spread wide as if frozen mid-flight. Even after decades, this coin's brilliance remains not the sterile shine of a new strike, but the aged elegance of a survivor that defied the odds. What separates this coin from the rest isn't just its condition, it's the combination of rarity, toning, and striking precision. This 1974 half-dollar has no mint mark, which means it was produced in Philadelphia, but what makes it unique is how few have survived with this level of detail and clarity. Many 1974 halves were heavily circulated. People barely noticed them as they passed from hand to hand. But this coin was spared, kept safe, away from wear, quietly aging like fine art. Its surface carries subtle hints of natural oxidation, soft grey tones blending into a faint golden shimmer, the kind of toning that only time can create. Collectors describe it as museum glow, an effect seen only on the rarest examples preserved under near-perfect conditions. And in a market obsessed with perfection and authenticity, this piece stands tall, a relic of a changing era, untouched, unforgotten. When it comes to Kennedy half-dollars, rarity isn't just about mintage, it's about survival. The 1974 no-mint mark coins were minted in huge numbers. Yes, but almost all were lost to circulation, melting, or damage. Only a handful emerged decades later, preserved in collector vaults or hidden in forgotten drawers. What makes this coin soar in value is its condition, very good, crisp, original, and perfectly struck. Coin experts and collectors across the United States have been hunting for high-grade 1974 halves for years, and prices have only gone one way, upward. Every major auction now watches closely when a 1974 Kennedy appears, because these coins symbolize the beginning of the modern era of American coinage, a time when silver had vanished, but collectors started realizing the importance of perfection, rarity, and preservation. And that realization made this coin a superstar. And now the number that turns heads and stops hearts. The 1974 Kennedy half-dollar, without a mint mark, in very good condition, has reached a jaw-dropping current market value of $163,000. Yes, you heard that right. $163,000 for what was once a 50-cent coin. A coin that could have slipped through your fingers in change decades ago, now worth more than most people's annual income. This isn't fantasy. This is real. This is now. And this value keeps climbing every single year. The market for ultra-rare Kennedy halves is growing like wildfire. Collectors, investors, and even historians are chasing these pieces like modern-day treasure hunters. And this coin, my friends, is proof that even the smallest piece of metal can carry a fortune inside it. If you are out there searching, here is what to remember. When you find a 1974 Kennedy half-dollar, first check under Kennedy's neck. If there's no mint mark, you might just have a Philadelphia strike. But here's the key. Look closer at the details. Are the lines of Kennedy's hair crisp and raised? Are the surfaces clean with minimal wear? That's where value hides. Never underestimate a coin that looks ordinary, because in coin collecting, the ordinary can become extraordinary overnight. Store your finds in airtight holders, avoid touching the surface, and always verify them with professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, because authenticity is everything in today's booming collector market. So there you have it. Coin number 6, the 1974 Kennedy $half without a mint mark. A coin that shouldn't have stood out, but did. A piece that embodies history, endurance, and the unstoppable rise of collector passion across America. Worth an astonishing $163,000, this $half proves that fortune doesn't always come in gold bars or treasure chests. Sometimes it jingles softly in your pocket, waiting for you to recognize it. This is True Coin Value, your daily window into hidden fortunes buried in the United States. History. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because the next coin on our list will shock you beyond belief. Trust me, it's the kind of discovery that turns collectors into legends. Next up, every collection has a beginning, and every legend has a final chapter. After exploring decades of hidden treasures, we have now arrived at a coin that defies all logic. A coin that came from one of the most overlooked years in American coinage, 1984, and yet it holds a story that can make your pulse race and your heart skip a beat. This is the 1984 Kennedy $half marked with a proud P from Philadelphia, wrapped in a rare natural cloak of brown and black tones, and preserved in uncirculated condition, a treasure that collectors now whisper about in awe. Its current value? A stunning $145,000 and still climbing like a rocket. But how could a coin from the 1980s, a time when silver was long gone, become one of the most valuable Kennedy halves in today's market? Stay with me, because this one is going to shake everything you thought you knew about modern coins. 1984, a year that symbolized change, technology, and transformation. Ronald Reagan was in the White House, America was booming again, and the nation's minting process had become more advanced than ever. The Kennedy $half had already been in circulation for 2 decades, minted in massive numbers, seen as common, even ordinary. By all accounts, the 1984 issue wasn't supposed to be special. It was struck in large quantities at the Philadelphia Mint. No silver, just copper and nickel. But in that river of millions of coins, something unusual happened. A tiny number of 1984 P. Kennedy halves was struck with exceptional precision, near-perfect pressure, and a finish so clean that their details appeared almost proof-like, but without being proofs. And then, as if fate wanted to protect them, a handful never made it into circulation. They stayed hidden, locked away, forgotten unspent. Until collectors rediscovered them decades later, glowing with mystery and revealing a breathtaking value no one saw coming. This coin tells a story in metal and light. It's made of copper nickel clad, a strong, enduring alloy with a pure copper core wrapped in nickel layers. But this particular 1984 P piece shows off something unique, a natural surface transformation. Over time, its uncirculated luster developed a dramatic brown and black toning, like ancient bronze meeting dark silver. These tones form beautiful streaks across Kennedy's portrait, adding depth and contrast, every shade telling a story of oxygen, time, and preservation. And when you flip it, the reverse gleams with that majestic bald eagle, arrows in one claw, olive branch in the other, standing strong as the symbol of American pride. The details are so fine, you can trace each feather, each curve, each letter. That's the kind of striking detail that serious collectors crave. What makes the 1984 P. Kennedy half-dollar a true phenomenon? It's the impossible blend of modern production and old-world rarity. While most Kennedy halves from the 1980s were common pocket change, this one defied the odds. Its flawless preservation, uncirculated condition, means it was never exposed to wear, never lost its shine. Add to that the rich, natural patina, the brown and black tones that appear only under rare environmental conditions, and you have a masterpiece that nature itself helped design. Experts call this type of coin a time capsule piece. It captures an exact moment in history perfectly frozen. No scratches, no wear, no dullness, just pure, unbroken mint brilliance wrapped in natural aging. In the coin world, that combination is golden. Collectors know that each uncirculated 1984 P with unique toning is like a fingerprint. No two are alike. And that makes each one priceless. In the world of Kennedy halves, rarity isn't just about age, it's about survival and perfection. And this coin, against all odds, checks both boxes. The 1984 PS were heavily circulated in their time. Millions entered banks, stores, and hands, and almost none came back untouched. That's why finding one in uncirculated condition today is like finding a diamond in a mountain of gravel. Collectors across the United States are obsessed with high-grade Kennedy halves, and the market has exploded in the last 5 years. The 1984 P is now one of the most sought-after coins for advanced collectors who specialize in post-Silver era rarities. Every auction draws eyes. Every bidding war pushes the prices higher. And the truth is, this coin is only going to get rarer. Every passing year, its population in pristine condition shrinks and its value surges. This isn't speculation. It's happening right now in the US. Numismatic market. And now, the jaw-dropper. The 1984 Kennedy half-dollar, P-mint mark, brown and black spots, uncirculated condition, today stands at a current market value of $145,000. $145,000 for a coin minted in the 1980s, a time many believed held no treasures left to find. But here it is, the proof that history doesn't stop making miracles. A modern-era coin, once overlooked and unappreciated, now shining as one of the most valuable Kennedy halves of all time. It's not luck, it's destiny, sealed in copper and nickel, waiting for the right collector to recognize its worth. If you are searching through half-dollars, never skip the modern years. Look for the 1984 P mark under Kennedy's neck. Examine the surfaces carefully, sharp edges, uncirculated sheen, and especially those natural brown and black tones. Those are the signs of rarity. Never polish or clean these coins. Their toning is their identity, and cleaning destroys both value and history. Keep them protected, store them in airtight containers, and always handle with gloves. And most importantly, trust your instincts. Even a coin that looks too modern can hide a fortune if you have got the eye of a true collector. And that brings us to the end of our incredible journey, 7 rare, ultra-valuable Kennedy half-dollars that prove one timeless truth. You don't need a treasure map to find treasure. Sometimes, the fortune is already in your hands. You just have to see it. This final coin, the 1984 P. Kennedy half-dollar, stands as a modern legend, a coin that rewrote the rules and turned a piece of copper nickel into a priceless artifact. Worth a breathtaking $145,000, it's not just a coin. It's a chapter of American history, a symbol of time, patience, and discovery. So if you're watching this right now, remember, every coin in your collection could be a sleeping giant waiting to wake up. I'm your host, And this is true coin value, where every story uncovers another hidden fortune from America's past. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because tomorrow's video might just reveal the next million-dollar mystery you've been waiting for. Stay curious, stay passionate, and keep your eyes on your change. Your next coin could be your biggest treasure yet.